Welcome to the macro vid, looking at the monthly signals, second month of the year, SPY. Outside month, so that is a broadening formation. You're gonna wanna draw that out. It's gonna look something like that. So if we go to the day, you see it like this, boom, boom, boom. And then we close two up in red and we're gapping down tonight. So we'll be two down week to start the week. That would have a magnitude down here if they hold that. So we will definitely wanna know about that with the new month open, new monthly continuity. The Qs, going to be a two down but green, although that may look good, they're going to be opening a two down month with the gap. So we'll want to know about that, and the monthly magnitude on that would still be 2 down to take this out. So we'll be watching that. If we go to the Dow, also two down but green, and I believe it'll probably open as a two down week. If we go to the US 30, it's closer to doing that in the future. So we'll see what comes of it with the IWM also taking last week's lows, being the weakest of the bunch. You're gonna see IWM like this, 3-2 week at the open tomorrow, and it did hammer the month. But if we take these guys out, then we're back to 2-2 month and down, or it might be an inside month and down. And we go to the quarter, back to a 2-2 quarter and down after slight higher highs. So you can see slight lower lows, slight higher highs, potentially bigger problems in the IWM if we open the month weak and stay weak. That being said, let's take a look at the index sectors. Gold is going to be closer to continuing after the inside month and up, of which the premium guys were alerted to. And you'll see just continuation here, still 3-year inside bar pattern and up. You still got 2 years to go on that. SMH, you're going to see closer to a 3-2 month. So it's been chopping around in here, stuck inside of this. But once you get that 3, if you can stay out of that, the lows or the highs of this, then it'll expand. We'll take the lows out of this, or we'll expand this, take the highs out of that. So we want to know about that, probably starting as a 2 down tomorrow morning. We'll see technology, XLK, also scenario 3. And it's going to look like this. Slight higher highs, 3. And it's likely to open down in here. So a 3-2 to start the new month off, second month of the year, that would be a problem, right? If we go to the healthcares closer to continuation, went out at the highs. Could turn into a 2-2 if the market's weak tomorrow, of which likely is. If we go to communications also outside last month. So here's your broadening information. We'll see what comes of it, but it's been strong with Meta and I believe Google. Discretionary, you're going to see 2 down but green and likely going to be gapping down to start off the new month. So we got a lot of gaps, so we have to look at. Financials, 3 on the month as well. So you can see a lot of broadening formations. This means you got aggressiveness in the market. They sold it down and bought it up. So we're going to want to draw that stuff out and be aware of our broadening formations in here. If we go to the materials sector, this is one of the few setting up closer to 2-2 back through previous range. So we'll be watching that with gold and silver being pretty strong. And I forgot to look at silver here, but silver does have your inside month for a potential higher low, pivot machine gun in here. If we go to the real estate sector, along with materials, it's a little bit closer to a 2-2 reversal back up. So we'll see if that sets up. And then if we go to biotechs with the healthcares, closer to a 2-2 back up. You got this triangle in here that we'll have drawn out, and you get the sub triangle down in here like so. If we go to the staples did close as hammer. You're going to see reclaiming this, which I believe is scenario 3. But you got this nice big triangle. Shooter week, though, to start off the new month. So potentially more issues in there at the lower highs. And if we blow it up, like quarter, this is the quarterly triangle. So we'll see, right? Inside quarter, and they've reclaimed it for now, closer to going back up. If we go to in the financials, regional banks, closer to the Rev Strat. And similar to other things, it's probably going to open 2 down at the IBM there. So a lot of gaps. Just got to be aware of that going into the new month. Energies, you'll have the inside month shooter XLE. And you'll notice they've just been grinding into new highs here. So it doesn't mean you can't go up, but inside month could trigger pivot machine gun of these guys. So this is something we'll want to know about in the energy sector. Things can get worse. If we go to XOP, you see also a little bit of a shooter month in here. Still mother bar to these 2 bars over here, but would be closer to coming into the bottom of their triangle here. XOP, OIH, inside month shooter as well. So the potential simultaneous break in energies is something we'll want to know about. And same thing, it's been making higher lows. No lower lows yet down into these guys is what we'd want to see. You get the subtrine here. Maybe they go worse, maybe they go better, but we'll see. Retail sector closes closer to the RevStrat month. And you can see they're at the top of the range. They look similar to IDBM. So potentially these guys have some issues with the IDBM sector opening as 2-2 back through here. So we will watch that again. All the gaps coming. The airlines ETF, jets, still just 2-ing. You can see off the hammer month in there and off the hammer quarter. Closer to a 2-down week to start off, and maybe some pivot machine gun. Again, just the higher lows grind, so you got to stop some out. Outside of that, that's all the sectors. So we're going to take a look now at the actionable signals setting up on specific names. Starting with the S&P 500, a lot of these are in the NASDAQ at the top of the list here, but Tesla, you'll have the inside month for next month. Up or down, we'll see. AVGO, going to have the inside month. Would be closer to 2-2 week, but with the gap down, it's probably not going to occur. So could become inside month and down. Tells you things like MU. You see the inside month MU, which could work. Oops. Off the shooter day tomorrow morning. And that would trigger the quarter down and the RevStrat year end down with AMD, which has already taken the year end down. So they're already weak. So a little bit of weakness in there, potentially in the semis. Outside of that, we will see UNH and healthcare's mother bar. So we'll wait to get out of that. XOM and the energies. This could be one of those energy names where there's your slight lower low, your slight higher highs. That would be momentum. So right below last month's lows, potentially we take all this stuff out in here to the 95.77. COP will also be in there, the inside month, closer to taking these guys out. And you can see they've been mother bar to this range in here for a while. Looks like this. So we'd like to take the lows of that out. Ideally, it'd be more fun. If we go to CVX, the energies also mother bar to this range for a while, closer to taking all these guys out to the downside. So a lot of energy is going to look similar like that. MPC, closer to inside and down. Could also be a 2-2 year. Wouldn't be very good for those guys with PSX. Closer to the 3-1-2 month and down. Could also trigger the 2-2 year to go back through all this stuff. So a little bit of issues there potentially. And those are at the top of the list. Outside of that, we're going to see the home builders, DHI, closer to the momentum month, which would trigger the 2-2 year. We go to XHB, which I think we forgot to cover here. They went 3 last week, so they're closer to 2-down continuation month, closer to getting the quarter again, closer to the year, but not quite. And DHI has just been naturally weak after some earnings reports, I believe. Yeah, earnings. So we'll see what comes of it, but that normally tells you PHM. See, it's going to look pretty similar on the quarter. If we go to KBH, it's going to look pretty similar, right? It's just dojis on the month everywhere. So we'll see what happens there, but not a lot of simultaneous signals setting up. And then in the healthcare sector, we'll have CI going inside month, potentially for the continuation or for the reversal. We'll see with MCK. Double inside, so other side of that can get your attention. Mind the mother bar here. If we go to CVS, this is one that's very interesting to me. So here's your triangle, lower low, inside month. And then when we look at the healthcares, right, closer to continuation, biotechs would also be closer to a 2-2. But if things are strong, or if they're not, we start seeing this come through here, it's been a lot higher. Right? You got this nice big range, 100%, if that works. So it's a good one for the bigger swinger guys. Then we can take a look here. Most of the healthcares I'm seeing up at the top, besides UNH and VRTX, which is also going to be the inside month with long red and green bars. So we'll see what comes of it. Outside of that, it's a lot of the smaller cap stuff. There's some more healthcares, ALGN, BAX, INCY, TFX, IDXX, and IQV. So a lot of smaller cap, but it's really those energies and some of those technologies in the semis sector that we're seeing. Now, looking at the shooters, we're going to see with more energies, EOG closer to the shooter back through previous range. They have been stuck within this range here for a while, so this is something we'll want to be aware of. But in the energies, we obviously have that simultaneous break setting up, and then we'll see PMI closer to the RevStrat month in the energy sector. And you can see that used to be higher, but you'll have this triangle in here right to left. So essentially they come back in. If you go to Fang, you see the shooter month in Fang, the magnitude of that would get the quarter 2 down, which would also potentially trigger the year. So a lot of those energies closer to, not looking the best, right? DVN has been weaker in the energy sector. You can see it's already into its triangle expansion. Lower lows or higher highs, and then lower lows, slight triangle, but acts as resistance. So when a triangle expands like this, where does it go? It normally goes to the top or bottom of the bigger triangle. So below here, DVN would be one of the worst names. Not the biggest dollar amount, but you're going to have about $28, 85% of range potentially if that starts a puking. Outside of that, there's a few like HPQ in the information tech, just momentum would be closer to the RevStrat quarter, with the RevStrat month or inside month to trigger the quarter and the inside week to trigger the quarter in there. And then a lot of momentum here. I don't like mentioning those. Let's see. JBHT in the industrials / transports, of which IYT inside month as well. So JBHT would confirm that with a pivot machine gun to take out the lows in here. JBHT below 169.04. And you'll have the inside week to do it and the outside day 3-2 to get it going right away. So we'll be watching that JBHT. With the hammers. The hammers, we are mostly going to see, a mix of things. CPRT in the industrials, closer to the RevStrat hammer to the upside. It has mother bar issues. MGM, bottom of its short-term range in here, still stuck inside of these guys, but hammer on the month. Kroger in the staples, inside hammer with XLP staples hammer. So if the market's down and we go more defensive stuff, Kroger would be one of the stronger ones on the upside and continue what they did last year. Momentum with Keurig Dr. Pepper, hammer on the month from the bottom of the triangle in there, sub tri with MKC in the staples, also sub triangle, hammer counters, shooter. And if we zoom out on here, you can see the big levels of reclaim that we're reclaiming here. These lows with that hammer potentially tries to go back for those highs. So maybe some more rotation at staples next month. We will see. Coca-Cola outside month, and Pepsi has a hammer month down in here as well. So we can watch those staples, and if the market's weak and they're buying gold and staples, maybe utilities, it's more of a defensive posturing. And there has been some fear and talk about the new administration being bad for the market. So that is something we may see. Outside of that, there's a few financials, a few real estate, but nothing too crazy. MAA, you'll have the RevStrat hammer. The real estates, FRT, you'll have the hammer. Real estates, and Allstate. We already talked about that RevStrat. Or no, I don't think we did, but that and FIS, RevStrat. Then in the utilities, you'll have the RevStrat as well, and it's working its way back through this triangle in here. So again, potentially more defensive posturing. We see that. Let's go and take a look now at your outside bars / 1 bar RevStrats. All right, so I'm going to sort these by the biggest losers and gainers, just so we have the most aggressive looking stuff. You'll see APD, the outside bar to the upside this month, closer to an expansion. And if we see the materials firm up, APD would be one of those leaders going expansion of the triangle, expansion of this 3, anytime they're above the highs up in here, about 338 / 340. It was just under that, so like 338.83. IBM, a big old outside month into the highs to start the year in the tech. Royal Caribbean, big old outside month to start the year in the tech. And when we're talking about these, you're going to draw these triangles out on your charts. It's the whole goal of this macro vid is get those bigger time frames in your noggin. So we can see that. And then when they show up on the daily scans and whatnot, we're going to have our stuff drawn out, right? We got a crowd. You're going to see the outside month into all-time highs. Closer to triangle expansion of this, you can see new low, new high, and then there's your 3. So you go to the week, you see your triangle like this, a slight lower low, slight higher high. There it is. CTVA, never heard of her, but stuck, and then closer to 3-2 expansion to start the month. And the biggest thing is, since it's the second month of the year, anything that's 3-2 up to start the second month, they're really getting after it, right? As long as it stays out of this range all year, something you want to know about. You'll see CDW. You see triangle in here, slight lower lows, the outside month, and CDW is part of the Infotex with crowd. And then healthcare's ABT. You're going to see they're into triangle expansion of this triangle. Trying to go back to all-time highs anytime above this 129.89, and you have your triangle in here as the sub try. Pretty nice move off the bottom of that thing. If we go to SOLV, never heard of it, but you'll have the outside month. There's your triangle. Can you get outside of that? And then a few more names we do know about. DE. You see outside month and all-time highs, and they really got after that one, rev stratting the monthly rev strat, 1 bar rev strat. So either side of that, if we can stay out of it, gets our attention, or if you come back in. And then we will see in the healthcare's DXCM. So you can see the much bigger reclaim levels. You reclaim the first and the second, potentially back up into the highs here. If healthcares are strong next month, something you'd like to know about. And it's also going to be a quarter inside bar and up. Back through the range, still inside here. We will see along with RCLs, obviously CCL outside month. Now we're starting to get into some of the less big ones. Netflix outside month, and we'll get to the big market cap names. NVIDIA, and something that everyone's talking about. NVIDIA here. Here's your triangle. So you got this. And imagine with the gap down, we're going to start as 3-2. So maybe it's finally time to stop some guys out. NVIDIA, 3-2 down next month. Pivot machine gun of these guys. Take out 91.60 just about. Or $90 even. We will see Palantir, PLTR, also having the outside month hammer. So be closer to confirming next month to go 3-2 expansion. And that is about all I've got as far as things that are interesting. Maybe Autodesk in here. Yeah, so Autodesk, and there's actually one more that I really want to talk about. But Autodesk, you have the 132 rev strat setting up for 3-2 expansion, and it has been higher at all-time highs. If we go to Zoom, this is the last one. This is my most important one to talk about this year, I think. So you have the 3-2 month above this, Zoom, 88.95. Anytime you're above that, we want to know, because it would cause a 3-2 expansion year back through previous range. You'll see it makes all-time lows, comes back in for a 3-2 up. That could make all-time highs. Not saying it has to, right? But we're reclaiming this big mother bar here. Something we want to know about is that happens, and we like to take both sides of a range. And when we look at that, an example of what that can do, if that works on a yearly basis, is Tesla in here. So you can see above this, $29, it trades $239. So Zoom is something I really want to know about. I'm going to make sure we're posting that everywhere. That being said, let's go and take a look and see who's starting off the year pretty strong with 3-2s and signals in force. So at the top of the list, we're going to see OKLO with the uranium side of things here. So OKLO starts off the year extremely strong, and you'll see it starts at the rev strat month to the upside 122, and up they go for another 80%. And if you've been with us for a while, so something we were talking about down in here, which is up 390%. So that's pretty cool. At the top of the list, we got a lot of names we normally don't talk about. So I'm gonna do my best to make sure we're not going too long in here, but LX, the 3-2 expansion above 640. We want to see if they come back next month to get more. Anytime they're above 854, you'd be continuation. If we go to AVAL, also financials, 3-2 reversal is a little bit of a used to be somebody much higher, but kind of digging in the trash there. That's what we want to be careful of. ALHC, you see the 3-2 year above 1425 closes out strong, and reclaiming some of the big range in here. HIMX, you see, starts off the year pretty strong, but comes back a bit. So maybe they triangle out and go back up again. They're a little bit of a mother bar on the week, but starts 3-2 year. Along with something like Zoom SE, starts off the year as 3-2 up. And the biggest thing is if you're going to track these, right? If you're like, I just trade 3-2s, it's got to stay there. If it doesn't, you might go 3-3. So just be aware of that. But SE Rocket Lab does start the year as 3-2 up. And again, you got to stay out of it. If not, here's your triangle, this outside bar to everything else. So got to stay up there. You'll see the week is inside to confirm and negate. If we go to DE, it is a 3-2 year we've already talked about. And then we will also see Cisco as 3-2 year, but still mother bar. So potentially go 3-3 within the mother bar. And there's not much else that's really interesting in here for me. We can take a look then at just the 2s up and then take a look at the biggest leaders to start the year. And the reason we're doing this is because if you've heard of the strat attack, the strat attack is not the only attack we go after. We can do this on a monthly basis. They buy the first month, come back the second, something you want to know. That being said, there's about 738 stocks 2 up this year. So I'm going to do a little bit more filtering here. So we're going to see at the top of the list, GE up about 21% this year and 2 up in green. So you can see it's triangle expansion, yes, on the smaller time frame basis. We're going to notice we were stuck inside of this for a long time. If we go all the way down here, you can see this. Slight penny lower, that's what you look for, and then back into the range. The other side they go. So still has been higher, right? We are going into short-term exhaustion up in here, so we'll see if it comes back again to buy next month. And then we got interesting consumer discretionary apparel accessories. Never heard of this, but you're going to see the triangle expansion in here. Starts off the year up pretty good, inside year and up all year. So as long as it stays up, come back again. CFRUY. Similar look there, so I imagine they're of the same. Spotify starts the year off really strong. You'll see the triangle expansion of these guys, and we know triangles expand, so we're not scared to go after that if that stays up there. CEG also starts off pretty strong. A little bit of buyer exhaustion up there, but hammer weak for next week. Team starts off 2-year inside of our pattern and up. And along with Zoom, right? Team and Zoom, they're going to kind of go together. So we can watch those as a simultaneous break. Roblox, you're going to see the inside year and up gets reconfirmed this year, reclaiming some of this stuff. So they've been higher. Still mother bar. Be aware of that. Hood, you can see it's been a lot higher, much like Palantir coming off the lows to go for the highs, 85. So we'll see if they come back and buy more, and I imagine they're only going to do better. More social media stuff, Reddit starting off pretty strong. So it's a lot of those newer social media type companies from the looks of it that I'm seeing. Tells you potentially Snapchat, which hasn't done much. So a lot of tech is what we're seeing, which makes sense. RNMBY, which is in your industrial, starts off the year really strong. You can see outside month to the upside of RNMBF as well. Just going to be the same stock, just a different type of holding there. And then those are industrials, FANUF. See, starts off the year 2-2 reversal near the bottom of its range. Big old monthly to the upside. Never heard of it. And then NIPNF. You're going to see starts off pretty strong. So a lot of nobodies, so to speak, but that's where we're seeing the leading going into the new year. And we're just going to sort quickly and look at some more nobodies. WFHG. Never heard of that one. Nope. Fubo. Nope. AKRO. You can see a little inside month or inside year and up. A big outside month to start the year with earnings, but already at all-time highs. That's really about all I'm seeing. So that is the leadership we see to start the year. It's really like it's going to be like your Hood, Roblox, Team, CEG, Spotify, General Electric. Those are your bigger names to be watching. And then maybe Hims could be an interesting one. But that's going to be, the short and sweet of what we're seeing the end of the first month of the year, and we got gaps and stuff, so make sure you tune in to the nightly vid Monday night to see what's going on to start the new month, second month of the year. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.